if you are one of the mango growers. If you have a mango tree or a mango farm or a mango crop and you want to have a good yield next year, then this video is for you. I'm Adel Eissa and this is your show, Grow Mangoes with Adel Eissa. My brothers, dear ones and followers all over the world, you need to know that the mango tree does not bear fruit in April, February, March or May. And the season when you see the tree bearing fruit in September and October, that's actually when the terminal buds emerge, which are responsible for next year's production. So if you have strong terminal buds and a very healthy, strong tree, you should know that next year there will be a strong crop. If you don't have this right now, know that next year you won't have any production at all. And the issue of storage is very important during this period we're in. So now I'm going to talk to you about the most important technical practices you need to do right now if you finished your harvest. And if you haven't finished your harvest yet, especially with the mango variety, of course you can't do any of the things I'm talking about. You'll have a lot of problems if you do these things before you finish your harvest. The first thing is to prune as quickly as possible, removing your clusters and pinched shoots. And for the bud that produced fruit, you should try to cut it off and remove the terminal bud that had the fruit production. The second thing is to deal with the clusters, pinched shoots, and the center of the tree. Also, if your tree has grown over 6 meters, do some topping to encourage the growth of new buds at the tips of the branches so the nutrients will be stronger, better, and more effective. The next thing, right after you finish pruning, you must quickly spray a copper solution. This copper is extremely important, and it's preferable to use copper hydroxide or anything that doesn't contain chlorine. In hot weather, chlorine is a strong substance and you'll have a lot of problems with it. If you spray it during this period, and I don't stimulate it during the period we're in, the next thing you'll do is spray something called a Dormancy Breaker to try to get a lot of buds to emerge on the tree, which will carry the production for the coming year. The dormancy breaking spray consists of seaweed extract, low concentration urea, and you can also add iron, zinc and manganese. And if you have any infestation from scale insects, then it's preferable to spray a very strong insecticide along with it so you can eliminate this issue, right? All of this is if you have an early scale insect infestation. After that, the new shoots will start to appear. Keep in mind that when these new shoots emerge, you face two major challenges: how to protect them from thrips, aphids, and the piercing of the terminal buds, and how to ensure that this bud develops to its full strength. So, every week or 10 days, you need to repeat spraying with low-dose urea along with seaweed extract and micronutrients like iron, zinc, manganese, and magnesium. And also, don't forget that Formulating will play a very important role during this current period. After that, your buds will fully develop at the top. So you must have a very strong nutrition management system at the base to be able to nourish the buds that have emerged. So high nitrogen will always play a very important role, as well as magnesium and also iron. Why is that? Because urea, yes, high nitrogen is of course the best source. If today you are in an area where using urea is not restricted, it will be the best nitrogen source because it contains 46% nitrogen. And that's the highest amount of nitrogen you can find in any of the nitrogen fertilizers. But if you have a problem with all of this, and of course I prefer that you mix it with phosphoric acid so it gives you a sulfate acid effect, and it will work well with phosphoric acid until it transforms. This will be very important for fertilization during the current period, of course. But if you have any issues that prevent you from using urea, what do we recommend? Yes, or if urea won't work with your soil, and there's a lot to be said about that, then I wouldn't advise you to use urea. You can use nitrogen nitrate, nitrogen sulfate, or any other source of nitrogen, or 20-20-20, or 19-19-19. After that, you'll have a very important role. High nitrogen will play a major role in producing vegetative growth. Then magnesium and iron will play a significant role in forming chlorophyll, the green substance that will be present inside the leaf. After that, we'll move on. Then, of course, there will be a stage at the end, which will be the storage period. We'll talk about that in the upcoming stages so the video doesn't get too long. But very quickly, everything I've mentioned needs to be done right now. Of course, maintain the moisture level, avoid drought during this period. Don't let your soil get thirsty, and avoid any drops in water levels, because this will affect your tree. And you also need to check your roots during this period. If you have any rot, you must treat everything in the tree so that the terminal bud, which will bear next year's crop, is in very good condition. See you soon, and don't forget to support me. If anyone has any questions, I'm at your service day and night. Peace be upon you and God's mercy and blessings.